Spaghetti girl sold. My kid a broken laptop. Lied to me and threatened me. Lots of backstory. I was around 13 at the time, now 19. I was hooked on Minecraft, and me and my dad spent quite some time on the Xbox 360 version. I got good grades in school, so he decided it was time for us to switch to PC. He already had a pretty good PC for his work, as a programmer and IT administrator, and he wanted to get me a cheap laptop. We had a hard time and almost no money, so it had to be cheap and used. He saw an offer on Facebook Marketplace from a girl he and my mother met at a club he was DJing at a few years back. Let's call her Spaghetti Girl. She was selling lots of stuff because she moved in with her boyfriend and her kids. Among that stuff was a cheap laptop. Nothing fancy, pretty scuffed, and only the network port didn't work according to her. No big deal, and for €50, $54 USD worth a shot. My dad contacted Spaghetti Girl and wanted to pick up the laptop just in time for my birthday. He had to wait for his paycheck. Rough times. When the day came, he went to the agreed spot, but she didn't show up. She called later that day and told my dad that she had to wait for her boyfriend to wipe the hard drive, as she didn't trust my dad. My dad assured that he had no intentions to snoop around in her stuff, and he could help her with that. After all, he's an IT guy. No, my boyfriend works for the CIA, and he's a hacker. Yeah, right. A CIA hacker in Germany by the name of Hans Huber. Name changed, but a very German name. Okay, fine. She insisted that the laptop still works and just the network port is busted. After 1 week, my dad picked up the laptop, paid the $50 and headed home. He couldn't test it on site because the battery was dead. Back at home, the laptop was, of course, dead. He opened it up and found a mixture of nicotine, coffee, and undefined fluids. Close your eyes and imagine the sound of a Velcro strap being pulled open. That was the sound the keyboard made when he tried to lift it up. I still remember that sound because I stood next to him and wanted to get my laptop going ASAP. I cried the whole night. Of course, my dad contacted the pasta lady right away. She insisted that he must have broken it as it worked yesterday, and that she also wanted €10 for the bag she gave him with it. My dad was calm on the outside, but he locked up his office door for 4 hours and instructed us to not go in there for the next few days. Finally, after a wall of text, the autopsy. Remember that my dad was an IT administrator at the time? Turns out, he was pretty good at his job. He was a guest lecturer at some universities, held talks about data recovery on conferences, etc. My dad plugged in the still good hard drive into his work PC and had a look. Of course, Hacker Hans only had formatted the drive. He recovered some files to look for any logs that would indicate that the laptop had worked yesterday. The last files were from half a year ago, and it wasn't shut down as the dirty bit for Windows was also set. Everything indicated that the laptop was dead for at least half a year. Great work, Hans. On the second evening, when my dad was looking for evidence, he stumbled across some pictures. One of an elderly man with a guitar, a few from the nightclub back in the days. I remember how I heard my dad laugh inside his office, but I wasn't allowed in, and the door was locked. That upset me back then. Now I understand. The spaghetti incident. She had some pictures taken of her with some spaghetti meticulously rolled up into a circle on her breasts. Lots of spaghetti, with a blob of sauce in the middle to cover up the nipples. Her boyfriend was sitting next to her with some chopsticks. I mean, who in the world eats spaghetti with chopsticks? And who pays a photographer to take pictures of that? My dad tried to ask her for the money back, and even offered to help and get her files back. Didn't mention the spaghetti pictures. She went on to attack my dad publicly on Facebook. Stuff like, there's this guy, %dads_name%, who tries to blackmail me. What should I do? And no, I don't want your pictures, %dads_name%. And to top it all off, when my boyfriend learns about this, he'll hack you. A few private messages followed. Shut up about that stupid laptop and give me the €10 for the bag. Or else I'll tell everyone you wanted to rape me. Also a few insults. My dad had enough of that. He suspended his Facebook account and went silent. He almost lost his job and family over this, but he was smart enough to save all the chat logs with her, so he could prove to my mother and his boss that he wasn't blackmailing anybody, and he wasn't sending nude pictures to anybody. Yet, the revenge. After a few months, My dad had a new Facebook account and everything was back to normal. He landed a new job, didn't add his boss on Facebook this time, and didn't use his real name. He even joined the old nightclub alumni group on Facebook to connect with a few friends from back in the days. One beautiful day, he finds a new post in the group by Spaghetti Girl, asking everyone for pictures of the good old days as a thief stole her laptop and tried to blackmail her with deleting the pictures. My dad kindly responded. He had this evil grin on his face when he told me a few days ago. "Oh, hey Spaghetti Girl. Long time no see. I have quite a lot of pictures from the time. Found them on an old hard drive. Even some of you and your boyfriend at a nice pasta dinner. And a few screenshots with old chat logs. Do you want me to send them to you via PM or should I just share them here? Nah, just share them here, as you wish." Hey, there's good also news for her. She also got the pictures of her recently deceased father back. The nice gentleman with the guitar, in 160 x 160 pixels. The fallout. Facebook blew up that day and the weeks after, at least in our little slice of the world. A few things happened. She was dropped by her friends. They all cut ties with her. Turned out she pulled of a similar thing with a bouncer of that nightclub, got him fired and expelled from their group of friends. He was the creator of said Facebook group. Noodle Bitch and Chopstick Dick were quickly both tagged in all of the pictures by their former friends. Even her cat was tagged on one of the pictures. Her boyfriend, Hans, of 12 years, recognized one of her tattoos that he paid for. So the picture had to be taken recently. He recognized the bed she was on. But he wasn't the chopstick-wielding dude in the picture. He was now Hans Solo. My dad never really looked that much at the pictures. So he didn't see that Spaghetti Queen had laid out quite a bunch of drugs, weed, pills in a Ziploc bag, in the background of her pictures. This minor detail was discovered by the Chopstick Master's current girlfriend, who of course told the police, CPS, Jugendamt in Germany, and both of their parents. Police couldn't do much. Their kids were taken away for a while. I don't know what happened afterwards. A few colleagues of her saw that post. She quit her dream job of being a cashier at Aldi soon after that. She had to move out of Hans's flat. She moved across the country if her new Facebook account is to be believed. She used the name of her cat. I know I'm being a spiteful prick over this, but I think she got what she deserved, and $50. Today, we sold the hard drive and the RAM from the laptop for €30 each afterwards. With the money, my dad bought a used HP desktop for me. Minecraft at 30 FPS. Coming from the Xbox 360, this felt right at home. For my 17th birthday, I got a, back then, brand new computer. Ryzen 1600X, GTX 1060, 16 gigs of RAM, and a brand new SSD. With no spaghetti pictures on it, my dad and I still play Minecraft together. He now is a software developer at a bigger company, and we have no concerns about money. Not rich, but not paycheck to paycheck. Not all heroes wear capes, but my dad does. He went to Minecon.